guys, welcome to Nine Links. This is Alex. Today we're going to talk about Cymbidium. I have a few email from viewers that asked me where could they buy Cymbidiums, and is Cymbidium pretty easy to take care of? Well, I want to give you an honest answer. The first thing is, most of the time, if you never grow a Cymbidium before, I have experience when I was little in China. Well, not a lot of experience when I was little, okay, with my grandparents. But anyway, Cymbidium typically it's not that hard to grow, but the hardest part is to get it to, what should I say, to get used to the pot first, and that's the hardest part. When you buy the Cymbidium from the store and you take it home, that's a very important part. You pot it, you use the right potting mix, and let it grow. This first step determines 80% of the time how successful you are with Cymbidium. If you manage to get it to work well with the pot and the potting mix and environment, and Cymbidium start growing new leaves and stuff, and the next step is watering, just like all the plants, and keep it, should I say, keep it as it is. Just keep it as it is on the growing cycle. And once it's pot bounded, now that's a very successful thing. Once it's pot bounded, do not change pots too quickly. Let it pot bound. Cymbidium always need pot bounded in order to flower. Okay, I'll repeat it again. Cymbidium needs to be pot bounded in order to flower. So when you buy a plant, Cymbidium, always make sure buy 3 bulbs. 3 pseudo bulbs. The bulbs are the ones like this, you know, the round, the bottom of the Cymbidium is round. Each Cymbidium has different size of the bulb, okay? I'm gonna show you a different one later. Right now I'm just gonna give you this one is Cymbidium Ruby Chen as an example. You buy 3 bulbs at least. Why 3 bulbs? According to professional growers on Cymbidiums, which I agree with them, each bulb represents a generation. The oldest one is the grandpa, and the medium one is the father, and the last one, the youngest one, is the son. Cymbidium, they share bulbs, they share nutrients they store inside the bulb for each one to grow. The grandpa might be dying, will send the nutrient and the energy to the father. Father will send it to the son, and son will spread out 2 more. So it goes like this. You have 3 bulbs, you'll get 1 more new growth or 2 new growth. And then from these 2 new growth, they'll put out additional 2. So Cymbidium, once you get it going, you got it pot bound and get it going, it's nonstop. And depends on which cultivar you get, like this one, Ruby Chen, and the other one I have, Cymbidium Tincheon. These 2 are, well, from my experience so far, are the best one to grow, and they are very, very forgetful. Like this one, I almost killed it a long time ago. I brought it back from death with only, I think it was 5 or 6 leaves left, and those 2 very thin leaves. So this one is very, very valuable to me. So as you can see, it's right now it's growing beautifully. And the value of Cymbidium, the way why people collect them, is the leaves are very green, and the flower shows a big contrast with the leaf, like very white, very red. So it's a piece of art itself. Let me put some picture here. You can see why. And throughout the Asian culture, you can see all the drawings and paintings. Most of the time, you'll see mountains, Cymbidiums, you know, fishing boats, whatever. Basically, Cymbidiums are very popular. It's, according to Confucius called it Cymbidium as king of the fragrant of Cymbidium. It's a king of all the flowers. But anyway, that's just a little side note. Okay, let me show you the other 2 Cymbidium I'm talking about, okay? Okay, now we're over here. This is a Cymbidium Tincheon. It's another one of those very easy to grow for new beginners. And I'll be honest with you, if I were to compare Tincheon and the Ruby Chen I just showed you earlier, I would prefer this one. Ruby Chen's flower, I just got it to flower towards the end of summer. Let me put you a picture here. You can see it. It's very beautiful. However, the fragrance, it's not as strong. You have to go pretty close to it in order to smell it. And I put it in a patio in the back, so the wind constantly blowing on it. I hardly get to smell anything. until I brought it in and I start smelling this fragrance. Now, Cymbidium Tincheon, Tincheon means heavenly fragrant in Chinese. Uh, it's the radius it puts the fragrance out is pretty far too. So this one I almost killed it too. Seems like that, hey, I'm a beginner in a certain ways. All right, okay. Anyway, see, if you look at this one, there are a lot of different buds, flower shoot coming out. I don't, not flower shoot. Sorry, my bad. Leaf shoots, new growth. You can see new growths right here. There are two of them coming out, and there's a one behind here, and I can go around, and there are quite a few coming out. I counted about 15 new leaf shoots coming out on Tincheon. Now I'm pretty sure the Tincheon is still remain on the original pot that I finished for first day. I got it and I potted in here. I did, however, repot it one time because I almost killed it. So the second time I repotted, I know a little better about the plant, so I did better. So as you can see, all the leaves are doing well. There's a few minor, brown tips is normal with all the plants. Okay, back to talk about buying a Cymbidium. These guys are easy to grow. Now, there's another Cymbidium right here. This Cymbidium Sumate, it's a spring Cymbidium. Cymbidium also divided into four big categories: spring, fall, winter, and summer. All the stuff I collect, Cymbidium Ruby-chan and Cymbidium Tincheon, they both are summer Cymbidium. This one is spring Cymbidium. So it's not doing too well because, like I say, the first step of potting the Cymbidium is very important. I don't think I got it right on the first pot for the spring Cymbidium. I use the same method, same stuff as I use for summer Cymbidium. Seems like spring Cymbidium didn't do so well. It's got quite a few leaves that actually dropped a lot already. So I'm just gonna keep it as it is, not gonna water, just gonna let it. The thing about Cymbidium is that sometimes just let it be. They will come back. Just give it time. If they doesn't, hey, it's gone. Okay, and here's a few things you guys need to aware when you're buying a Cymbidium, okay? Always buy from a trust vendor, trust nursery. Reason being is Cymbidium is not like other flowers. Like, for example, for jasmine, when you buy it, summertime, you'll see it bloom. You'll see it flower right away. You'll know exactly if you buy the right one or not. Now, Cymbidium, within each category, there's 10 or 15 or more different kind of cultivar. Their leaves might look the same, but the flowers are different. So most of the time, when you first buyers, you will not, I'll tell you this, right, again, not get the plant to bloom first or second year. Most of the time, the third year, you'll get it. Third year, when the Cymbidium actually settle into the pot, likes the pot, and kind of almost pop down it. I bought Tincheon for about 5 years now. I haven't got it to bloom yet. I got my Cymbidium Ruby-chan to bloom already, and I got this Sume to bloom already too. Just one bloom. I think it was a lucky. I got it the second year I got it to bloom. But anyway, the reason is when you buy from an untrusted source, you can buy a very expensive Cymbidium, but when you bring home, it might be just a common cultivar. How can you tell? You can't, because the flower is, most of the time you judge the Cymbidium by the leaf and the flower. But the leaf with certain cultivars, they are actually very, very close. For our beginners, you won't be able to tell which one you're buying. And one thing is that you're probably gonna ask, how can I not buy it from Walmart or Home Depot? Or Cymbidium typically not a huge market. Reason being is Cymbidium, like I told you before, it doesn't flower that quick. It takes time. And most of the time when people buy flowers, first thing they want to do is, oh, this plant has flower, it gotta bloom this summer, I'm gonna use a lot of bloom booster and stuff. Those kind of stuff doesn't work on Cymbidium. If you use a bloom booster first year when you get the Cymbidium, you'll kill it. It doesn't matter how concentrated you use, because the Cymbidium just don't bloom first year when you got it, okay? That's plain and simple. Unless you bought from a vendor, it already have a flower spike coming out, and you don't repot it, you keep it in the same pot, and you know how to take good care of it. And most of the time, some people will see the flower spike and they are very happy, they buy it and they repot it. Most time when flower putting out spikes, you do not flower, plant putting out flower spikes, you do not want to repot it. You're going to give it a stress, and the flower bud's going to go bust, and it falls off. Okay? But anyway, okay, this is just a little bit of Cymbidium care, guys. And also, when you pot Cymbidiums, use acidic mix. Acidic mix being, anything that's coarse, like, uh, wood, wood bark, sphagnum moss. Let me think, maybe organic stuff, worm casting, stuff like that. Okay. Anyway, hopefully this will help you narrow down where you need to buy and how you're gonna buy one and what you need to watch out for. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you next time. If you have a question, feel free to leave down below. Okay.